Internet nerds, Chris Parry here from Equity Guru with today's 3-minute hit on standard uranium. Just in case you're unaware of the law, these 3 minutes are always longer than 3 minutes. STND is the ticker symbol. This is a uranium explorer company out there in the Athabasca, where everybody else in Canada is out looking for uranium or finding uranium for that matter. Here's the thing with standard. If Cameco are up here because, producing all that sort of stuff, and Fission are here because constantly drilling, never actually producing, and Sky Harbor is here because lots of deals moving forward, closing in on that mid-range status, standard is about here. And, you could say Athabasca, Azincourt is probably about, anyway, we're talking levels. Levels, Jerry, levels. So standard is at that sort of level 1 of, holy shit, when we walk around here with the machine that goes ding, and we put it against any rock that we seem to pick up, it goes zzz, off the scale, right? So literally, they can walk around, pick up rocks, and feel that they're hot, right? There's radioactivity, and they can figure out what kind of radioactivity, what kind of ores they're dealing with. So this is good. If you want to be a uranium miner instead of an explorer, that's the first step, is to go out there and find that there are hot rocks on the ground. Second step is to go out there and actually start drilling to find out, well, where are they exactly, and what are they exactly, and how much is there? How deep does it go? So standard is at the place where it's doing that stuff. Now, you look at the share chart and you say, well, this thing's been more expensive than it is right now. It's at 7 cents right now. And, there was a time back there where it was up around 31 cents. If you go back a couple of years, there was a hot uranium streak in late 2021, got it up to 50 cents, and you're looking at 7 cents now. Well, that's not exactly a sign of confidence. And I would agree with you that there are plenty of people out there that were in this stock in late 2021, as they were in every uranium stock in late 2021, because there was a bit of a boom going through right there, right? You can overlay every uranium explorer stock pretty much over standard uranium stock chart, and you'll see the same movements up and down that were based around this sector, not so much the project. Treating every uranium company as a piece of an ETF, more or less. But there's the devil is in the details, right? If you look into these projects, you'll see that they're all a little bit different. They're all dealing with different people. They're all different stages. Some are gunning to get to a place where they are going to be an operator. Some are prospect generators like Sky Harbor. We like Sky Harbor, good company, another client of ours. Some are just like, we've got one project and we've got partners and they're going to do work on it, and we're going to just wait a little bit while they're doing that, but we're not going to spend a lot of money. That's Azincourt. That'd be down the level beneath. But here's standard uranium, I think, in the sweet spot. If you look at the big companies that have the more brought along projects, you're not getting them for 7 cents. Boys, you're getting them for 40 cents, $1.40, maybe $3.40. If you want to get something for 7 cents, where if it goes up 3 cents, you're a double, or it's not a double. If it goes up 3 cents, you're up 50%. Like, that's where you got to go earlier stage. That's where you got to go with the guys like Standard Uranium. These guys are not in it to walk out the clock. They're not just sitting there going, anybody you want to come in? No, they're out there, they're digging and they're doing work and they're scanning and they're drilling. And if you don't believe that they're drilling, go to their website, because they've got an abundance of video footage that shows that they're actually out there with the drills, pulling up cores, like they're doing the work. So these guys are trying to get from that level to this next level. And in doing so, they've attracted a lot of interest, right? There's a lot of people that have invested in this thing over the last year. Maybe some have pulled out, but there's a lot of institutional guys that have got an eye on this project, because they are 1 or 2 sets of results away, all things considered, from the potential for announcing themselves as being leveled up. And to get there, they don't have to spend a fortune. They don't have to raise $100 million and put a mine in place. They've just got to pull a few cores out that the guys with the pointy heads look at and go, well, that's interesting. And since they're already doing the drilling, I kind of feel like that's going to happen, or at least there's a good chance of it. So Standard is a company where there's still a lot to prove, no question about it. The guys at the pointy end would tell you that. But they're in the work of proving, right? They're not just saying, hey, uranium's hot, and so we've got a property and we're going to get paid and shrug and wait. They're actually out there. They're in the cold doing the work alongside some really big players. Your Cameco's and your Next Gens, the Fissions, they're right next door, right? They're surrounding this property. If you walk too far in any direction on this property, you're going to hit a competitor or water, one of the two. The water's right there. Now, if you look at uranium and you say, hey man, I'm Generation X, right? I was raised late 70s, early 80s. I remember the day after tomorrow. I remember 3 Mile Island and Chernobyl and most recently Fukushima. I don't know about this whole nuclear energy thing, man. Isn't it a problem? Isn't it a problem? I would say to you this. Well, look, everything is a problem in excess, right? Donuts are a problem in excess. Nuclear power plants that are put in places they shouldn't be put are a problem. Nuclear power plants that are in countries where safety may not be the first thing, yes, problematic. But nuclear power in general is the only way we're going to be able to fuel our future. Look, oil and gas are pretty much in their descendancy. Solar, love solar, great. Solar's amazing, but sometimes the sun doesn't shine. Wind turbines, fantastic, but sometimes it's not windy. In those times where those two things aren't useful, nukes are your answer, right? And honestly, the cleanest burning fuel, the least polluting. Yes, I know that there are some spent nuclear fuel that will be around for a while, but it would fill this office. It would not fill the Georgia Strait. Like, you're talking about small amounts that currently can be buried deep underground or spat out into space if need be, if we get to the place where it's a real problem. Look, nuclear energy, if I could invest in it right now easily, I would. Problem is that the only way to invest in nuclear energy is at the top billion-dollar companies, and those things don't double in value very often. But at the small end, at the micro-cap end, guys like Standard Uranium, for them to double in worth, one news release, right? A 7-cent stock only needs to go to 14 for you to get your money back and then some. It's like, to me, this is much easier lift than a company in a more advanced stage. Even a company that's producing uranium, they go up and down at that point based on streamlining of their operation and uranium demand. The smaller guys, they go up based on progressing from we think there's uranium here to we know there's uranium here to we know how much uranium is here and it looks like it's an economically viable option to get it out of the ground, produce it, sell it. Those things are easier to do than the other things. So if I'm looking at uranium exposure, I don't want to be at the very top. I want to be generally in the sector, maybe an ETF, but I want to be at the small guys that are doing work, looking to progress to be bigger guys. Not everyone does that. Some companies, they get themselves a property, they get themselves in the space, they get in the ETF basket, and then they coast. Because to stick drills in the ground risks showing that there's nothing there. Standard is in that process. Their drills are in the ground, they are showing that there's something there, and you can look at the videos that they have on the website. You can see what happens when the machine that goes ding is put up against the rock. It goes woo, like off the scale readings, exactly what you want. It's only a question now of how much, what grade, and where. And if you're going to be taking a risk, I much prefer to be taking that risk than, let's say, going into biotech. That's just me. I told you this would be longer than 3 minutes. Standard Uranium, STND. Take a look. Have a look at some of the videos. Get a sense of who these guys are, what it is that they're doing. I can tell you that they are very respected in the business. We have several uranium clients right now, and everybody knows John Bay, CEO of Standard. Everybody knows this project. Everybody understands that it's an interesting deal. So Standard Uranium, Sky Harbor if you're really into the sector, SYH, Azincourt if you like exposure on the micro side, AZN, and everybody's happy. Let's have a nice green energy future. If you want more content like this, hit the subscribe button. Every time you hit a subscribe button, a puppy gets a bowl of snacks. Same puppy though.